Hello, y'all. Welcome to Bam Bam Raw TV. I'm Bam Bam, aka the 411 Giant. Hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you know my next video coming out. On this episode, I'm gonna talk about C Murder catching this murder case and in the prison system. Now, you can't never every situation in prison can be deadly. You can never underestimate no situation, especially when respect and reputation is on the line. Now, my homeboy C Murder, I ended up telling you how I met him later on, and I actually met him, but I knew his story. I had heard his story from reliable mans. He dude had his celly. Dude had said his celly had said something disrespectful about him, and he instead of investigating it, he mad. He was disrespectful. He was disrespectful. He was a young dude getting into the system and going on. So what he did, he go kill a dude. He's so mad about the disrespect that he's in his feelings. He didn't think about how to kill a dude with and set it up to get it away. You got the white guys, you got other dudes. They'll saw a dude's head off and try to get it out. Every time they open the door for trash or anything, they try to get as much of the body out at a time. But now what he did, he attacked the dude where he was, stabbed him up, and why he was stabbing him, because he was in his feeling about the disrespect. He was steady stabbing the dude in the face. When the police come and the police had to tell him, get off him, he steady stabbing. So the police had to force him off there. After doing that, letting his anger cause him to do that, how can he walk in there and say, I want to go to trial? He can't say he want to go to trial. Even though at the time that he killed a person, you wasn't going to get nothing but another life sentence. But after the Eddie Sanchez thing happened, they passed a law that you can actually now give an inmate life. Give an inmate the death penalty for killing another inmate. Back then, you couldn't. Only if they killed the guard or some other civilian, but in the visiting room. But now they can give you death penalty for killing another inmate. If you look at it's a story about that, and I'll talk about that later. It's actually a story that put that in place with Eddie Sanchez. Okay, so C Murder, after killing the dude, he get a life sentence. He goes to Supermax Marion. He goes to Supermax Marion, do 5 years there. He come back. I'm in Leavenworth. He come to Leavenworth and he like, boom, everybody is you got the homeboy C Murder in the hole. And I said, I don't know him from a can of paint. But Bloodhound from Florida come to me and he said, hey man, won't nobody take him in the cell because they scared to take him in the cell. Would you let him in the cell with you? I'll look out for you. I said, look out for me how? And he discussed on what he was going to give me because he had his hands and everything. And so when he discussed what he wasn't to give me, he set him in the cell. I said, okay, well, he ain't going to be in there, but I give him money there, and then y'all got to find him a spot. He said, all right, man, okay, blah, blah, blah. So now I go to they give me his name. I go to the lieutenant. I say, hey, man, y'all got my homie Corey Fowler over there. I said, yeah, tell him you can come on, bring him down here and put him in cell with me. So now they had a win-win. They had a dude who don't usually accepting the celly, and he accepting the celly that nobody else want. So they hurry up, boom. He was out the hole then probably the next day. They brought him to the cell, boom, me and him meet and greet. He got in there, and I explained he's from Florida. He actually was locked up under the Miami Boys conspiracy. He's one of the youngest one. And he ended up getting 15 years out of it. Well, his big homies got life, and he got life just like my conspiracy. I got homeboys who stayed true, and they got our way down to 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So, based on their participation and their age in the conspiracy. So we got in there, and he seemed to be starting to get on his learning after he got that extra, he got that life sentence. He had a lot of good books to read. I read George Jackson. I got heavy on George Jackson, reading that and going on with him. He had a lot of good, Afrocentric educational books, about the struggle. So I mean, me and him we got jam. And I told him, I said, listen, yeah. He said, yeah, I know I'm supposed to find me somewhere in a month. He said, I got that. I said, no. I said, you can leave. You take your time, man. Make sure we gonna get you where you want to be. We don't want you just in no cell with anybody. So ain't no hurry when you get out of here. You know what I'm saying? I said, you solid. So now we moving back and forth. And I actually end up, I used to always tell him, I said, see, murder, dude. He had did the 5 years he had did in Marion, and I avoided myself from becoming like that because I seen dudes what it did to some people. I'm gonna tell you what it does to some of the people when they get down there. But anyway, it had done it to him. See, murder was stand up and call a dude a F boy. You a F boy, such. You hear me? And point the finger at the dude, and the dude would put his head down, and he'll turn around and just walk off. And I told him, I said, murder, you can't be doing this here, man, out here on this compound, man. I said, y'all got them fences in between y'all down there. So when you holler at somebody and you walk away, they can't touch you. They can't protrude. And you get too comfortable. How did it happen? How did it unfold it? Me and him, I'm in the TV room. I'm at the back of the TV room. I got my wine back there. I'm drinking. I don't care what's on that TV. I'm drinking my wine. Yeah, I got a couple of quarts back here. So I'm in the TV room drinking, and the dude from Ohio, he's sitting there from Ohio, and he watching the TV. I don't care what's on that TV. I'm finna get drunk so I can go here and play me some poker, or play not poker, but some dominoes, some dice, or whatever they trying to do. So see murder come in, and he walk in. So he tell the dude, this man, I'll be watching such and such at this time, blah, blah, blah. So dude said, well, I was in here first. And that dude from Ohio, he had just got there when we went on. So he said, I was watching this friend gonna see Mr. Man, yeah, but this is my time in the TV room. Like, you hear me? You know what I'm saying? I tell you what, fuck boy, just be here when I get back. And he turned off. And the dude, he looked, he like, bam, and he hit him. He dropped him. He dropped him. He dropped him to his knees. So he hit him a couple more times. He murdered him. He's waking up, but the dude was steady hitting him. By then, I jumped up. I see what's going on. I jump up and I run up to the front. When I run to the front, I catch the dude. Bam! I catch the dude. And I catch him on the side of the head. Bam! I hit the dude again. So the dude go back. He ain't even focusing on me. He go back and see murder. So see murder coming up, and see murder come up. He hit him. And I hit him, and the dude eyeball went out his head. And when the dude eyeball went out his head, I'm messed up. I'm looking at it, but I can't see it right now because we in a fight. We beat the dude down, and we both go to the hole for that. And we went to the hole and everything, and turned out that the guy I never even paid attention to it, but the guy had a false eye in his head. You know what I'm saying? Because I had never seen no eyeball come out that complete. Usually when the eyeball, I remember I was there when homeboy knocked the dude eyeball out, and it came out, and it's got something attached to it. So that's why that didn't make sense to me. So I know it's got something attached to it. It can't just come all the way out like that. But anyway, moving on. So now we get on. They let us back out the hole because of who we was on the compound and everything. So to move on further in our relationship, me and C Murder, we was locked up in the same Leavenworth. This was at the USP Leavenworth. We locked up at USP Leavenworth, and we in the hole. Y'all may heard me talk about this on other video. Me and him was in the hole, and he was the last one to go in. And everybody know if you wreck with me, I'm the last one to go in. 6 of us out in the red cage. I'm gonna be the last one to go in. One reason, I may have some kind of beef with the police, which means I'm gonna hold the red cage, and I don't want to get the rest of y'all caught up. 2 is I'm gonna make sure that everybody go in without nothing happening to them. So, cause I'm wrecking with my homeboy. So C Murder walking around. It's time for him to go. He the next to the last man. He walking around instead of going cuffing up, because I'm not going to cuff up until I'm the last man. So he walking around. So I pull him up. I said, what's going on? Is we finna do something with these folks or what? I said, because I ain't finna leave in here by yourself. He said, no, big homie, I would be getting out today if I hadn't killed that dude. And I said, huh? He said, yeah, this would be my release date. The day would be my release date if I hadn't killed the dude. I said, yeah, well, I said, now I got a life sentence. I said, okay, man, I feel you on that. He said, I'm just thinking. I said, all right, I hear you, man, you respect that, but I said, I'm going to stay out here as long as you need to stay out here. I'm going to go in when you go in. So he said, nah, I'm ready, homie. So what I did was I said in my wine, I had some wine in the cell, so when they opened the slots to feed us, because they ain't got no air conditioning ventilation, they be leaving our slots open for us to get air. So I threw the line down there and sent him a gallon of wine that I had. I didn't even know. I gave him the whole gallon. Now, me and my brother, C Murder, we ended up meeting up again. We met up in Hazleton. Now, he's the one that I speak of when I was in Hazleton, and I had got charged with assaulting an officer, and I ended up doing time, getting time for it. But before they put me in a hole, they had took me up to the lieutenant office and jumped me. So they took me up to the lieutenant office with Lieutenant Moss, and they go up there, Lieutenant A. Moss, I get in the lieutenant office. You gonna whoop my officer? Huh? You gonna put your hand on my officer? Huh? Put your hand on me. I said, man, y'all ain't gonna do nothing but jump me. Now take the cuff off of him. Take the cuff off of him. They take the cuff off of him, and I'm looking at I'm looking at all these police around. So I said, man, I can't let this dude hit me, because if this dude hit me, they just gonna jump me anyway. So he started going, and he put his hand up like that, and I hit him. Bam! I got one lick in. They went on. They beat me down and going on, but so they beat me down and they kept me, and they didn't feed me for like 4 days. They kept me in the little office, at the little room at the lieutenant office, and it happened to be an L. Rookin, who did the cleanup up there, and he looking. He said, man, he looked in there. He said, man, that's you, Bamm. He said, why you in the hole with everybody else? I said, man, they've been having me up here since Sunday. They ain't even feeding me or nothing. He said, man, they ain't fed you. Man, they ain't fed me. They ain't did nothing, man. You know, I've been drinking off this water here for the. So he went and told the dudes from the South who I was and what was going on. And C Murder from Florida, the Miami boy from the South, took some South dudes and pulled up on the lieutenant and the captain and said, if you don't get him where he's supposed to be, we gonna tear this son going up. Y'all got today to get him to the hole and get him treated right and get him in the right situation. And that's what he did. Them folk came, got me, and they, after 4 days, had me up there. 4 days, treated me like an animal. They sit there and they took me and put me in the hole. And they put me in the hole. I got to shower. I got to get my regular food. I got to do everything because everybody else on the thing. This is what kind of dude he is. You see, he's a solid dude. And going on, like I said, I got much respect for him and everything. And like I said, but his story is this. He had a release date. He was dependent on that release date. Prison, nothing is for sure. Best thing to be assured that you ain't gonna be stuck in there is not to go there. If you go there, when somebody do the wrong thing, the choice is like this. 1 and 2. Shut up, check in, or go and handle your business. And the outcome is most of the time it ain't even in your hand. So all right, that's on my homeboy C Murder and on the prison survival situation. That's what happens. There is no guarantee that you're gonna leave out. Whether you have to do something to somebody or they do it to you. All right, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you know my next video coming out. All right, peace.